Hey y'all, how's it going? Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Christian, and yes, the podcast still exists. We'll get into why there was an episode last month, and I guess if you're listening on Spotify, there kind of wasn't one for 2 months because the live stream one I never put on Spotify. There's issues with Spotify making it difficult to move stuff over. I'll probably put the one that was a live stream one over there as well. Soon. It might be before this episode comes out on Spotify because I don't put it up on Spotify immediately, or it might be after. We'll see how that goes. But yes, the podcast is still here. Yes, this time I'm by myself again, but there's a reason. There's a few reasons. We'll get into the reasons. But I guess we should start off with the fact that it is May. It is Mental Health Awareness Month. And if you don't know, every Mental Health Awareness Month over on the YouTube channel, or on the YouTube channel if you're here now, I raise money for a charity for mental health. Have different goals to reach, and I do different things, and I do a bunch of collab projects with different creators to reach a wider audience, get their communities involved and stuff, just to try to get as much money as we can for charity. I've done a different charity every year. I do a lot of research and try to pick good ones. This year I was really torn between 3 different ones, but I ended up deciding on raising money for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. If you go over to the YouTube channel, if you're on Spotify, the link will be in any of the description boxes of anything that comes out this month. Streaming, video, short. It'll be in the podcast video, so you can just look for the podcast video if you want to donate a little bit. Because I don't know how to put it on Spotify, but it might be on the Spotify as well. There's a description on Spotify, so it could be in there, but you can't just click the link, and probably difficult. But yeah, so the charity's over there. There's a bunch of different goals of things of like 8-hour stream, a 24-hour stream, games I'll play, whatnot. That I'll be doing for raising a certain amount of money. But the reason I decided on American Foundation for Suicide Prevention over, there was a veterans mental health one and then a gamers mental health one. I almost went with the veterans one, but it feels weird as a veteran to do that because it felt too much like I was trying to raise money directly for myself, even though the money wouldn't obviously be going to me because it goes straight to the charity. But it felt I don't know, even though all of it kind of works for helping people with mental health issues, which I have, so in a way it's kind of like that anyway, but I don't know, but I might use that one later. I have it in my back pocket. I have that one saved. I've done some research on it. So that might be used for something I do, a big event that I do, or Mental Health Awareness Month next year. We'll see. But there's another reason I lean more towards the suicide prevention one, and that's because I recently did a speech for my public speaking class about it was a persuasive speech, and I was trying to persuade people to speak up more about mental health and be more open about their mental health and stuff, because I've talked about it here before. Maybe I'll post a speech. I might post a speech. If y'all want me to post a speech, let me know. Nobody's gonna reply, but if you want me to post a speech, let me know. I might. But I found out that it's 46% of people who commit suicide have a known mental illness. That's only 46% of people who commit suicide are known to have a mental illness. Considering the fact that suicide is an extreme, it is a final straw, there's no turning back. You think the people who do that are going through mental health issues the worst, or maybe not the worst, but more noticeably. And the fact that number is 46%, you would have to think that the people with undiagnosed mental health issues has to be lower than 46%, which is crazy to me. But that number is why I wanted to go for suicide prevention. I know a lot of there was another number. In 2012, NAMI, that number was from NAMI as well, which is the National Alliance for Mental Health. NAMI said that out of 43.8 billion adults that have a mental illness, 60% of those went untreated. And I think that's of known mental illnesses, right? If they know that number. So I wonder how many unknown ones also go into that. So how high is the number of untreated mental illnesses overall? Not just the known mental illnesses that are untreated. I don't know. those numbers are just staggering to me. I know that's 2012, but that's still not like it's 12 years ago. Considering the changes that have been going on for so long, that still feels very high. Honestly, I think it's better than now, though. Mental health during the early 2020s was a lot worse, so maybe that number actually worse now because mental health issues with people were worse or has been worse due to being locked inside and not being able to socialize and stuff. That's just me over the past year, not even just during the pandemic, but so I know how it can affect you. But yeah, that's why I decided to go with the suicide prevention one. Plus, another reason is I feel like with suicide prevention, inherently there has to be outreach done, trying to help prevent people from killing themselves. So there has to be a factor of, I can't think of the word, proactivity. It has to be a proactive thing rather than a reactive, rather than sitting back waiting for people to come get help themselves. With suicide prevention, I feel like inherently it has to be proactive, right? And I feel like that's something, the thing that mental health care is missing more than anything else is outreach. When you're struggling, you don't take care of yourself. I've read so much about people like not brushing their teeth for a while. I remember reading something, I think on Reddit, of somebody, "Oh, I've brushed my teeth for the first time in this long," and people were cheering, like congratulating them. Some people didn't understand and were like talking bad, but it was like the first thing to go often is taking care of yourself. And the first thing to go and taking care of yourself is usually going to your appointments, going out to, or making appointments, even reaching out to your doctors and your dentists and your whatever else I get massages, getting your massage done. Like those are the first things to go. Getting your hair cut, even. I'm growing my hair out on purpose right now, but I do need a cut. But those are typically the first things to go. Like I've gone times without brushing my teeth before. I know how it is. Like I've gone times without taking care of myself. I'm very bad at scheduling my appointments. If I could schedule online, it'd be easier because I hate making phone calls. And that's something else with people with like social anxiety and stuff, that phone calls can be very difficult, very stressful, and it's something we don't want to do. So making that appointment, if you can't make the appointment online, it's very hard. So you need that outreach and like, hey, you haven't had an appointment with us in a year. We want to make sure you're doing okay. Something like that. Like, don't know why places don't do that, considering the fact of what comes along with mental health. Is not taking care of yourself inherently. That's just part of it. That's like one of the questions they always survey you when you're going in to get mental health help. Is like, are you able to take care of yourself? Are you needing somebody else to help take care of you? Are you able to do your day-to-day activities? And if you're asking those questions, obviously, you know that's a struggle that comes along with mental health. So why isn't more done? And I know it might not be the most cost effective or whatnot, but it's health care. And I think it's an important part of the healthcare. And there's probably income related things that come along with actually giving people their care. Like, I don't know, if somebody's actually coming into their appointments, they're probably actually taking their medication. I think there are even financial reasons that a place could do outreach. So I don't know why it's not something that's done, but I'm hoping. I've read in American Foundations for Suicide Prevention, and there's a lot of research and studies going on and stuff, which I think is important. And I'm hoping that that's something that's figured out, and there's a way that's figured out to do something like that, to do more outreach and help those people out and do something with that. Because the outreach for a lot of different reasons, like some of us, like so I'll get into why I don't have a guest on now, partially because I wanted to talk about this stuff with it being Mental Health Awareness Month and everything. But I also went a long time without talking to anybody. I'd went a few months without even talking to my mom. It just became very difficult. I'm getting a little better now with the weather. My mood changes with the weather a lot, and now that it's warmer outside, I'm getting out. I'm exercising. I bought a bunch of gym equipment. I got a bike and a rowing machine and a bench press and some stuff for the garage because my friend had was storing stuff in the garage, and it's all out now, so I'm using the garage as a gym. And with the weather and stuff, I've been getting in the gym a bit every day, though right now it's taking all my energy out of me. and I'm only in there for a little bit, but hopefully that helps me get a little bit better mentally too. But the weather's also helping me reach out a little bit more to people, because for a while it was just even just sending one text message was like, I don't know, it was like hours of work. Like it didn't take me hours to do, but it was taking the equivalent of energy out of me that you would think like hours of work would take out of you. And like felt like I just did yard work and all I did was send a text message. Because socializing sometimes can be so draining, and then a text message is just socializing, and um, even just sending a text was bad. So I wasn't talking to anybody for a while, and I didn't want to immediately be like, "Hey, I know we haven't talked in a while, but can you come be on my podcast?" Felt a little weird. Plus, I wanted to talk, like I said, I wanted to talk about the charity and all that stuff anyway, and I feel like I have plenty to talk about to take up an episode. Um, I think the solo episodes are a little shorter too. Um, when I have a guest on, they're probably going to go over an hour. When I'm by myself, they're probably going to be like 30 minutes ish. Having that variation in time is a little weird for a podcast, but also don't want to ramble forever on my own. If I'm talking to somebody and it's just flowing, and we're going to go with it. But um, on my own, I don't want to keep pushing on just because I feel like I need to hit a certain time. But yeah, that's why there's no guests on. I went a while without talking to anybody. Um, which is another reason outreach could be very helpful. You know, create programs for people to make sure people are doing something. You know, I had went, besides going to get a massage, I think I went 3 months without leaving my house. Technically, I left my house twice to get a massage, and that was it. Maybe I only left once in that time period because I went a little longer than usual without getting a massage in that point too. Um, and the only reason I go and do that is because they're scheduled appointments that I schedule after I get one. So it's like I don't have to do the scheduling; it's done right on time. So and I don't miss appointments once I have them. I got in trouble for that in the military, and then I've learned about um how much that can cost people and the amount that it can cost and the stress that it can put on the other person. And I don't want to do that to anybody. Um, I just feel selfish. So, um, having that structure appointment is nice. Like having something like that is good. That's regimental, and because having a regiment's really good for me. I'm very momentum based, which is why I stream every day. I post a short every day because if I stop once, I'm gonna be like, well, I took that day off. I can take another day off. Well, I took that day off. I can take another one off. And it's fine to take two off in a row. Well, I took two off in a row. Why not three? Like, if I stop the momentum, it'll come to a halt. I don't want that to happen. So, and it's not draining me out too much. It's something I enjoy. It's not like I'm doing anything else. Um, so, um, yeah, it's not real. I don't think it's messing with me too much. It's not draining me too much, um, to do so either. So, it's fine. Uh, but yeah, I had went a while without even leaving the house. It was struggle for a while. Uh, which is part of why I didn't do an episode last month. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to talk about. I didn't have a guest to come on. I didn't, like I said, I didn't want to reach out and just ask somebody to come on. Um, even though I could have talked about what I was going through and what I'm going through now. Um, I don't think I could have got a full episode out of it, and I don't know if I fully had wrapped my head around everything and got to a place where I could really talk about it. Because I've talked about it a lot. Um, most of my friends and I don't typically enjoy a lot of the same things. We don't have interests in common. And I had a friend that I did have interests in common with, and we haven't talked that in over a year now. It was a year last month at the beginning of April. So that probably played a part into it. And that's probably why I'm so in the place I am, coming to the realization that that friend's not coming back into my life. And I've been trying for a while I don't know how to meet other people that are into the same thing I am. It's not like I can just, I don't like going out to bars, so I don't want to go to a bar because then there's going to be somebody who's into going to bars, and that's not what I'm into, so I'm not making a friend into. And like, how do I go meet somebody in the anime besides like an anime convention, which I have to travel for, and that's not a friend near me. And I have friends online that are like that, but I need somebody to hang out with in person. And I've been getting better at talking to my friends online, but I still, and I considered getting better at recognizing them as my actual friends, but because it feels weird not having that face to face stuff. But I also plan on traveling a little bit, going to see some people, and obviously I have the convention AWA. I'll be going to it in the year and all that. We've talked about AWA on the podcast previously. But it's like it's hard to meet people into that, or like go out and find somebody who's into sci-fi and fantasy, or somebody who likes to play tabletop games. I don't know where to go do. And I feel like I went to a place, comic book shop, with people playing tabletop games, but it was very. I want to play more casually. I like to play them. I don't. There was a lot of people taking it very seriously and like being very strict about things, and it was like that's not exactly what I want either. And I think with that, that's hard because if people are taking the time to go out and do that, a lot of them are take it a little more seriously. Now, I've gone to PAX and played games with people, and it's more fun and laid back a lot of times when I play with those people. Having something like that could be nice, but I don't know where to find that. I've looked. My college does like Smash tournaments, but there's also like 18 and 19-year-olds, and I'm about to be 32 years old. And that just doesn't. No, good. Not that I don't have friends that are younger through YouTube and stuff. Like, I have friends that are like 22, 23 that I talk to and stuff. But I don't know about that. Like, I want somebody I can travel with and go to conventions with, and probably have more than one friend that enjoys the same thing with you would be a good idea. But like I said, it's just hard to meet people who are into that same stuff. Um, so it's something I've realized I've been struggling with, and I think coming up on all these things going through my head at the same time really mess with me. Plus the weather, like I said, the warmer weather is a lot better for me. The colder winter sucks, and it's very bad for my mood. It's easier to get outdoors in the summer, and getting outdoors and getting the vitamin D and stuff can be a big difference. Um, Also, I had school stuff going on. I had a 25-page paper I had to write. I had that speech I had to do. Now, they all ended up getting done a lot quicker than I had planned. It's a much better grade than I had thought, but it still stresses me out every time, even though I know that I'm going to get an A, and it's not going to take me as long as I'm thinking it's going to take me. Happens every time with everything in school. I always like, oh, this is going to take forever, and then I get it done in like a quarter of the time that I thought. And I'm like, well, this is, I rushed it. I'm not going to get a good grade, and then I got a good grade. So it still took a lot out of me energy wise, even though it didn't take a lot of me time wise. So that's part of the reason there was no episode last month. And like Spotify, like I said, y'all are 2 months behind because of we did a live stream, anxious conversations, where people got to ask questions, make statements, and I feel like that was a good episode. So I'm probably gonna get that over on Spotify when I can. Well, now I don't know. Feel like I have anything to talk about. So I was going to try to get 30 minutes. I don't know how I'm going to get 30 minutes out of it. But I do want the podcast to be a thing. I want to figure out something better for it. But I think having something going and then switching it is better than me scrapping this and starting from scratch later when I get a better structure or get a co-host or whatnot. Honestly, I could get guests on here. I just need to get better at asking people, feeling okay asking people. And I have 2 mics now. Well, because I have the really good one. I have 2 XLR mics that we can use, and the audio should be better next time I have a guest on. And a lot of people complimented on the last one where my mom was on and liked it. So I'm hoping it can help people and make a difference and let people know they're not the only ones going through what they're going through. Help people understand, even if you may not suffer from mental health issues, somebody you know most likely does, considering the numbers. And kind of helping you understand what they. I'm gonna post this speech too. I think it's a little awkward and weird because it was for class, and for some reason it was harder for me to do that than it is to do this, even though it's the same thing. It's the same thing. I have more eyes on this. That was one person watching it. I guarantee more than one person watches this. Maybe not much more than that, but at least it is more than one other person seeing this. I guess technically I had 2 friends watching that too. So it's 3 people watching that. I'll probably get more than that on this too. Maybe not by much. But yeah, I got my watch, started doing steps and working out and stuff, and that's helped a lot with the uh summer and stuff. So hopefully my mood is better. I'm get better at reaching out to people, asking people to come on. Um, stop feeling like that feeling of I don't want to reach out to people and like be like, hey, I really need you right now, like, because then it feels like kind of selfish, especially if I haven't talked to somebody in a little while, or maybe it feels a little manipulative because I know, hey, if I tell them like, hey, I really need you right now, like I'm going through some stuff, it feels like I'm using that, knowing that they're gonna come, and I'd rather them just come without me saying like, hey, r- really need you to come right now. And not even just in the point of the podcast, just in general, like if I'm really struggling or something. I don't. It's like, but then again, it's like a lot of people have their own things and are busy, like, and maybe mentioning it isn't really that bad. Some people might not like it. Some people obviously would rather me mention like, hey, I'm struggling, so they know to come. Um, I think I'm the type of person, if a friend, I would rather a friend be like, because I don't like leaving. I don't like going and doing certain things, going out drinking and all that. But if somebody's like, hey, I'm really struggling right now, I could use a friend. Can you come get a drink from me? I'd rather them ask that, because if they're like, hey, you want to go get a drink, I'm probably be like, not really tonight. I don't feel like it. But if they're like, hey, you want to go get a drink? I'm kind of struggling. I need somebody to talk to. I'm going to go. And I'm going to be okay with it. Like, it's not even like, it's it's not like, oh, I'm going out of my way to or whatever. I'd be fine with it that way. So, but I feel like some people might also. I could see why somebody else would take it the other way and be like, hey, you're just, I'm gonna go if you're telling me that you're struggling. So you're telling me you're struggling to get me to go. Which I feel like most people wouldn't say that. I don't think anybody. No, I don't think I would want to be friends with anybody who would think that way anyway. So the fact that that's whatever. It's anxiety talking, so y'all know how that is. But yeah, next month I hope to have a guest on. I have a bunch of people I want to come on. I wanted to do a bunch of in-person people I know that I've known for a long time first, but I might start asking people on YouTube. Um, there's a, I think the first YouTube friend I want to do stopped streaming. But I think he could be a good person to talk to about it because we've talked a lot about it. So I have a YouTube friend I'm gonna have come on it soon, and it might just be next month because, like, if I can't get another guest first that I know in person, just because I'd rather somebody who's known me most of my life, and because we've kind of been digging into my own issues first, and then eventually we'll. But I'm okay going and talking to other people about what they're going through too. Even if my mom comes on again, but we talk about her rather than me this time, that might be something we do. Because I want to keep this going. I want it to be something y'all want to watch. We're gonna figure things out. We're going to implement new things. We're going to make this something that becomes something. It's just going to take some time, like everything else on YouTube, because it's a process. So maybe we'll get shorts out of it and help the podcast grow that way. I also think the first, it's been so serious for a while because I've been digging into my past and stuff, and I think cutting the tension a little bit sometimes might be a good idea to try to do, but I kind of go on rants, and once I get into something, and it's not going to be easy to. I don't want to like force something in there. But like I said, it's Mental Health Awareness Month. Check out the charity, American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. It was a good one, I think. I did a lot of research on it. We have a goal for $100 to do a 8-hour stream. There's one for $150 that determines what games I play during that 8-hour stream. There's one for $250 that is I have to eat a whole box of those nasty freaking, what you can call it, jelly beans, Bean Boozled. 500 is the sleep lock on June 1st. That sleep lock will also be part of the raising money for charity. 750. I'll have to wear a maid outfit for that sleep lock, and at 1,000, I will do a 24-hour charity stream some point during the summer, probably August sometime. we might also throw some other stuff in there to create a few more goals, to create a little bit more incentive for people to want to donate and whatever. I'll be doing collabs all month too, so check out the channel. We'll be working with a lot of people I haven't worked with before. I'm doing a lot better this year than last year because, like we talked about earlier, last year in April, stuff happened and May just ended up being a bad month for me, and I've struggled getting stuff together and stuff. When we still raised $700 last year, it was like $680 something. So almost $700 last year. I just keep saying 700 because it's easier. We raised $700 last year. I want to get more than that this year, especially since, like I said, I felt like I really struggled last year. I didn't do as many projects as I wanted, then didn't work with as many people as I wanted. So this year I'm hoping to beat that. The year before we only raised like 300 and we almost doubled. We over doubled that last year. So I'm hoping to. I don't think we'll do that again this year, but I'm hoping that we can keep growing every year, keep raising more money, and keep helping people make a difference. Get more research done. Get more research done on mental health. Start making more changes to how society views it. Start making changes with how we view it ourselves. And just all that money can go a long way to helping people, and hoping we can do a good job this year for the charity. I'll also be donating like my ad revenue and stuff this month. So if you can't even donate, just coming over and watching some stuff, building up that ad revenue a little bit. It's a free way to give money, basically, even though ad revenue is not great. But I'll be giving all that as well. So if you want to stop by the channel and just watch some videos, or stop by your stream and hang out or whatever, all that still helps. Helps get more eyes on it. Helps maybe find more people that come by stream because YouTube's pushing it better, leading to more people donating, or like I said, just getting the ad revenue up can really help. So thank you all for watching this one. Sorry it had been so long since a podcast episode. We'll probably be good over the summer at the very least. Like I said, the weather really, as long as nothing really bad happens, the weather usually really gets my mood a little bit better, even though, well, at night I've been so tired from working out that I haven't had to like get stuck in my head. I still have spots where I'm not doing great, but I've been a lot more. It's easier to be active when it's nice outside because you get to go outside and do stuff. When it's not nice outside, you can't go outside and do stuff. So I've been outside doing stuff, which is making me more active, which is providing less time for me to think. So it's been a little better. Hopefully we stay better for a little while. It might suck in the middle of summer, even because it's going to be like 120 degrees, but we'll see. I try to keep y'all up to date, even if it's not through the podcast, it's through streams. I stream every day and all that stuff. So y'all will know what's going on. I need to stop rambling. Check out the charity at the top of the description box. Check out the streams. Wednesday is the next collab I currently have planned. I'm in talks with a bunch of people to do a bunch of different things. And Wednesday's only our second collab, unfortunately, this far in. But we'll have other stuff going. I promise. There'll probably be a bunch towards the end of the month. But I'll see y'all around for those. I'm sorry. I love you all. Hope to see you back here. I don't even want to say next time because that'll be a whole month for the podcast. I hope to see y'all back here for other stuff.